Once again, good afternoon, everybody. You're welcome. I can see a lot of names in the chat box already joining us. If you're joining now, you can join us on the YouTube channel. We are having a live stream on our YouTube channel if you're just joining, because the capacity for this is 100. Once again, you're welcome. My name is Joshua Adepetu, and I'm excited to be your moderator for today's session of Mediators Connect. You're welcome. Our webinar today, Marketing ADR Skills, is both timely and essential. It is designed to bridge the gap between professional competence and public presence. Whether you are a seasoned practitioner or just beginning your ADR journey, knowing how to effectively communicate and position your skill is vital in achieving meaningful impact in the ADR industry. Today, our distinguished speaker, Ambassador Victor A.A.A. Ojaide, is an international certified mediator, trainer, and conflict resolution expert. He is an executive chairman of Sapphire Builder and principal executive at JM Eldons and Associates. He served as chairman of the FICMC Asaba branch for 5 years and held key national leadership position as vice president training and vice president continuing professional development at FICMC, and currently serving as the vice president finance. Ambassador Ojaide played a pivotal role in establishing and training multi-court courthouses across Nigeria. He designed the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliator Online Dispute Resolution Center, ODR, and presided over several landmark mediations, including Supreme Court post-judgment cases. He is and a strong advocate for peace, justice, and family unity. Distinguished participants, please join me as I welcome His Excellency, Ambassador Victor A.A.A. Ojaide. Your Excellency, good afternoon, sir. You're welcome. You are muted, sir. You.
Thank you, Joshua, for that very magnificent introduction. I appreciate the great work you do. Thank you. Again, my noble lords, distinguished associates here present today in this room and in this live streaming, I understand that we have already the capacity for this room is already full, and so we cannot accommodate more, but we have those who are on our YouTube page and following us today. I'm excited to be part of this, and I'm hoping that today I'm going to speak a little bit more from experience. And my focus today will be to share some ideas and thoughts with practitioners. I understand in this room also we have some of the finest practitioners caught in different parts of Africa, and this is magnificent and great. We also have trainers in this room. But my focus today will be to share some few experiences and some learnings that will help in the process of our professional practice, especially in Africa. I love to share my screen. But as I do this, let me share with us what I tell people and mediators and colleagues. I say, I feel for me that I have the greatest work, the greatest job on earth. And I feel same with all mediators. Why do I say this? And in my tongue, and I say, look, I feel like we're being paid to go to heaven. That's the way I describe it. I feel we're being paid to go to heaven. What would that mean in my thoughts? As I picture persons or communities or families or parties who have conflicting interests, who are in pain, who have tragedies in their life and wish they could have solace and help. And then because of the skills and the magnitude and the input and the effect and the value a mediation could add, a mediator could add, it could help these parties regain what was once lost and put them in a stage where they could feel warm about each other, where they could move ahead, understanding that dispute has made them stronger. And both parties, once upon a time who were adversaries, now feel the strength and the bond of togetherness. The joy they carry is unimaginable. The expression, what they feel about you is unbelievable. The warmth we get, just add to that. And then you're paid what I call great and magnificent sum to do such work. In other words, for me, mediators are paid to make people extremely happy, have peace, and the same. Why? The more we spread peace in the life of others, the more our life, our own personal life, reflects and gain the strength of that peace we give. You cannot give except you have it. And this is the beauty of mediation. And that's where I want to focus today. We usually have this challenge. I hear a lot of us have this challenge in the Institute, and where we feel, and people go through trainings, they get accredited, and they look for opportunities to practice, not just to practice, to also learn, earn a living. You want to learn and you want to earn a living. And a lot of people will complain, look, we've been accredited for many years. We've not had opportunities and privileges. How will that ever happen? I said, that's a challenge cuts across this country, different parts of Africa. Let me share a little bit with this as I start today. Let me share my screen as I do this. Joshua, I hope I am permitted. I can share my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Part of what we have that gives us a little bit of concern is the fact, okay, let me quickly get my screen on. I'm not too sure, okay. Please indicate, can you see my screen, please? I want to be sure we can see my screen. Okay. Joshua, can you see my screen, please? Stop this. Share screen. Come on. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Sorry, the network dropped me out. I'm back now. Hello, sir. Please unmute, sir. I think we lost him to network. If you could. Okay. Please, because of the Zoom capacity, I may have to remove some people so they can join on YouTube, because once it's 100, our speaker won't be able to join again because of the capacity. Abdul Karim, please, can you join on the YouTube, please? Thank you. Adaobi, please join on YouTube, please. Apologies for the inconvenience. Our speaker is out and we need him back to the room. So I've just reached out to our facilitator. I'm sorry, our speaker. He will be joining us shortly. So while we wait, if you're yet to drop in the chat box your name and where you are joining us from, it will be a good time to do that. I can see one of our distinguished past presidents, Dr. Liz Brown Ogbefun, in the room. Your Excellency, good afternoon, sir, and thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Joshua. And greetings to the house. God bless you all for coming.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you. So Ambassador will join us shortly. He's making every effort to be back. The room is already 100. Please, I'll have to remove some people. Please, if you are removed, please join on the YouTube. You can search for ICMC Nigeria on YouTube, so you can join. If you have any question, you can drop it there, and I'll pick your question, then throw it to our speaker. It's 100 already, and our speaker won't be able to join if I didn't have remove one or two persons. So please, if you are removed, sincere apologies. Mr. Samuel, thank you so much for volunteering to exit. Thank you. Thank you. Please, if you can have more people volunteer to exit, that would be great. You are not missing out anything. You can also join on the YouTube channel. I'll drop the YouTube channel link in the chat box now, so you can just click on it, then exit. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm dropping the link. So you can click on that then to join our YouTube channel. Ambassador is back. Your Excellency, you're welcome back, sir. Please unmute your mic, sir. I've sent you the prompt to unmute. Please unmute, sir.
Mute. Okay. So, okay. I think AAA, our Honorable Ambassador and Facilitator, is having challenges. This is unlike him. We all know that. Network might be an issue. But while we are all here, we are all mediators in the house. Is it possible to just share some little experiences, keep ourselves busy before he comes on board? Do I have your permission to do that, Oga Joshua?
Your Excellency, it's a great privilege to have you join us today. Please proceed.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and your excellencies, we are having some issues. As mediators, one of the things we are known for is ability to, is our ability to be flexible, even in the arrangements of our sitting while in mediation. And when we are confronted with issues, flexibility is part of it all. So I just want to share certain things. And by the time Ambassador Ojaide is set, please just give us the prompt so that we can stop immediately. Now, the topic that I think he was going to be taking was mediation, marketing, ADR, and so on and so forth. But I would just want to talk briefly on mediation specifically. All right? It is very apt because from waking till we all fall asleep on daily basis, media spaces are inundated with reportage of heart-rending conflicts along the spectrum of strata of our socio-political areas, which never like before caused mediators as peacemakers and as peace builders. All right? And Arnold did say that those living in an age of crisis must become pioneers of a better age, rather than get caught up in the gloomy perspectives of how many people perceive conflicts. All right? We all know that, let me see. Let me see what I want to do better. Yeah. Just hold on, please, so that I too wouldn't have the same link issue. Okay. So we all know that marketing is a confidential, party-driven, non-binding process, all right, in which a mediator, that's third-party neutral, facilitates dialogue between disputants who voluntarily opt for a facilitated negotiation to reach a settlement agreement. The non-binding nature of mediation is in the process, but once the parties have signed the settlement agreement, it becomes binding. So let us look at the concept of marketing and sales in mediation. Marketing and sales might look like twins with common goals, but they are inherently very different in outcomes. Therefore, there is the need to make this distinction so that mediators listening to me talking would not think that this my talk is just tilting towards making them salespersons. That is not it. Okay, but let me still check the house. Are you hearing me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. So it is not that we want to make you salespersons, far from it. But however, we need to understand that we need to market what we do, either by our behavior or by what we do, and by reaching out, deliberately to let people know, because I hear people complain most of the time, since we have been trained, oh, we've not been able to benefit from this. What are we doing? So I think this is why what Ambassador Ojaide is going to be talking to us for is very, very important. Sales are transactional in nature. It is product-oriented, all right? But in contrast, marketing is a product of thorough research on customer needs, focuses on long-term relationships, and is customer-oriented. Marketing aims to make people gravitate towards a brand, and a successful marketing strategy should improve sales and revenue. So in which case, if you are a salesperson, you are selling certain things because it is a little bit of profit-oriented endeavor. You want to improve your level of profitability. But marketing is geared towards enhancing the brand that you have. And at the end of the day, your successful marketing strategy should improve your sales and revenue. In which case, mediation, therefore, that we all practice. You may go out to market mediation. Your strategy at the end of the day is not just going to improve your finances that you are bringing into to bear. It's also going to enhance your personal revenue. It's also going to ensure that the ICMC has people that you are bringing in to also increase our strength and our numbers. The goals of sales and marketing are to increase or improve revenue. Therefore, I might be correct to hazard, that the motive behind this event that we are having today is a way of becoming successful mediators and in the process improving our streams of income. Remember that I said that Ambassador was going to be talking about ADR marketing, if I'm correct, but I'm, restricting this to specifically mediation because this is who we are. And then I'm just filling the gap. I'm talking not because I prepare a note, but just sharing the experiences that I have so that we can keep our class based on when Ambassador Ojaide will come in. So what are the opportunities in mediation? Before I delve into identifying the opportunities and making money from mediation, for instance, I need everybody to please appreciate that to become a successful mediator, there are some critical principles to put under our radar. There are some essential elements, all right, like developing trust and rapport with the parties, being creative and thinking outside the box, beyond standard, everyday solutions, and persistence. The other essential things are selfless and sacrificial service to the profession of mediation, the ability to identify the unspoken underlying interest the ability to make the deals and break deadlocks, the ability to make the parties see each other's perspectives, the ability to do a reality check, all right, that will make the parties see what's alternatives to not reaching a settlement agreement, and the ability to see and appropriately situate the body languages of others in the room. So in which case, even when you are practicing, people are watching you. That is a strategy you are putting in place in marketing the great job that we do, all right? Other factors that could help a mediator build a successful practicing are training, looking for opportunities. I tell people that what we have done in the ICMC is to give you a basic tool to work with. You must be somebody who is improving, just like we are on this platform today. And I want to thank the organizers and our faculty, and indeed the Joshua-led group for putting this together. This is very, very good. If you look at United States, for instance, mediation is one of the professions that could make a mediator and 6 digits dominated income. The difference between those who make it and those who could not are due to personal motivations, drive, innovation, priorities, values, interests, and focus. So what are your motivations? What are those driving innovation that you want to bring to bear, especially when you want to do marketing in mediation? In Nigeria, many Nigerians live and thrive on mediation consultancy. I am a product of one. Apart from being a multi-door practitioner or in the panel of neutrals, most of the things I do in the industry is to ensure that I market mediation, streamline it into workplace conflicts by ensuring that we have people people knowing what self and managerial mediations are. Please, Oga Joshua, once Ambassador is ready, please stop me.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So today, we have so many mediators who are practicing in Shell, in several spaces, all right? I also facilitate negotiation in workplace conflicts. And I'm an active member, like I said, of the Edo State Multi-Door Quarters, all right? Of course, I'm on the faculty of the ICMC that conducts ADR accreditation and certification in Nigeria. So to become a mediator of repute, therefore, training is very, very essential. Before you can market, you need to know who you are. You need to be fluid and fluent about what you want to market. Let me use this, please. If there's a stammerer in the room, I want you to forgive me. I'm not doing it to undercut who you are. If a stammerer wants to go on marketing drive and he wants more revenue, for instance, he must fashion out a way between his speech, behavior, and then maybe writing skills to be able to manage the two for the audience that he's going to meet. So training is very, very critical. And mediation is like any other business, which needs the right skill, innovation, attitude, your milieu, your planning, and your tenacity to be on top of the ladder. Many mediators believe that the basic skills taught by ICMC are all they need. No, it's not. It cannot take you to the top of the ladder because you need to enhance the practice with experience. You need to enhance it with a lot of reading. Mediation is evolving from time to time. And while a few others are taking to leverage on the basic skills to make it big in mediation practice, the vast majority will need to continuously sharpen and upgrade their skills in line with the changing dynamics of mediation process. Accomplishments in any field, distinguished colleagues, will not drop from the skies on the laps by accident. Accomplishments are products of years of selfless and sacrificial services, upgrading, upskilling, innate and acquired skills, pursuing money as a first option, which has characterized our socioeconomic spaces, definitely may not be the magic one that you need. So in seeking knowledge and making ourselves visible on the field are some of the keys to unlocking potentials for more remarkable services to society in ADR. For example, many mediators of repute are locally and internationally accredited and certified. I had to go out of this country to do my CEDA. I went to the US to do MTI, and today I'm also taking, a very good course in mediation. As I speak with you, there is PhD in mediation and conflict resolution. So we often offer our services pro bono if you want to start first, and so on and so forth. So therefore, I want to welcome you to mediation practices. So how do you start marketing mediation? Step one, the first step in marketing mediation is to incorporate a legal entity that will help you in interfacing with other corporate organizations. In which case, something must be known outside this your body. They call it a company or whatever it is. You need to have something in place. Step two, seek to partner with or understudy an accomplished mediator or enroll with a panel of neutral in the multi-door courthouse to volunteer your service and acquire hands-on experience. That is very, very key. And this is what we are not seeing in most of the spaces that we are. Everybody just wants to be a master. Step three, get an office, accommodation where you can handle cases. You may wish to partner with a senior colleague or as an on-call mediator to help you learn the ropes. Remember that what I'm telling you now was not prepared for. So it may a little bit different from what Professor Ambassador Ojaide wants to talk about, but I'm giving you steps to practical marketing in mediation. I said step one is to market mediation, is to incorporate a legal entity. Step two is to seek a partner or understudy or under an accomplished mediator, or enroll with the panel of neutrals in the multi-door as a volunteer. Even if it's once a week, you go there, render your service. Step three, you need to get an office. Step four, you need to identify organizations that will need your services. For example, the community where you live in, market women associations, National Union of Road Transport Workers, tricycle and motorcycle associations, churches, mosques. I'm sure that will be a little bit, people will say, churches and mosques. Oh, yes. There is so much conflict in the church, matrimonially, or matrimonial conflicts, for instance. And once you're able to help resolve some of these conflicts, they begin to recommend you. That becomes your marketing strategy. All right? So are you still hearing me, my colleagues?
Yes,
Is
sir.
anybody still hearing me?
Clearly, yes.
Okay. What are political parties? How many of us are in political parties? Even if you are not there, how many proposals have we written to political parties to help them manage their crisis? Oftentimes, we just think that, until you know one man that is going to invent. No, just try. Ministries, trade unions, oil and gas companies, all these are very, very green field where we can put our proposals and begin to market mediation. Then step 5, you need to print and distribute flyers and proposals for mediation training, facilitated negotiation and stakeholder management to corporate organizations. And we have so many organizations at the length of bread. The field is so open and is so ripe. If possible, engage someone diligent in handling the distribution of proposals and flyers. I'm sure after this program, you practice as a mediation marketer or mediation marketing consultant to mediators. If you know you don't have the wherewithal to establish your own outfit, to establish your own office, you can decide to volunteer to a very, very well-established mediator to say, I want to help you as a consultant to market. And by the time I'm doing this marketing, this is, you then begin to earn some commissions until you are able to stand on your feet to be able to do what you can do. For example, if the ICMC could offer a high as high as 20% of finder's fee. I'm sorry, this was in the past. I don't know whether it's still in practice. But besides, if participants are not interested in practicing mediation, they could also decide to market mediation to organizations, oil companies, youth organizations, communities. Those working on this option could have a clause for the mediator to pay specific sums of percentage to the mediator's fee as their contract fees. All right? Areas where mediators are yet to explore are the sporting arena. There is so much conflict in sports. Football clubs are dismissing their players without paying. Most football clubs are not implementing the terms of agreement they will with their players. So most of those players have so much grudges against their management. Who is helping them? Mediation has not been able to penetrate the sports, hospitals, and hospitality businesses. Anywhere there is a heavy clientele interface with owners of capital, there are usually disputes worthy of exploration to facilitate negotiation, reach settlement agreement, and restore relationships. Unfortunately, what people are looking at, they are looking at construction industry, they are looking at maybe commercial environment, hospitals, doctors, nurses, and their patients. They have conflicts everywhere. You could become that peacemaker that will earn money through all those processes. All right? And there are issues arising from contracts between players and their employers, dismissals, unfair labor practices. The opportunities, like I said, in the sports sector are waiting for courageous mediators to step in and help to restore relationships. One thing that the immediate past president did was to establish the volunteer mediator scheme, which I headed at a point in time. I don't know how many of us keyed into that. Dr. Elachi Agada conceptualized the VMS, the Volunteer Mediation Scheme, in response to new members yearning to be availed the opportunities to practice the skills the institute taught them. And when that thing happened, I can tell you that in the market space, all right, cases were settled. It happened, I think, in Niger, it happened in Edo, it happened in Plateau, it happened in Abuja, and it happened in Kaduna, all right? I think before I left as the head of that VMS scheme, Ondo and Rivers State were warming up. So one of the things you can therefore do is to enroll with the ICMC members who want to hands-on experience as volunteers. Let them avail themselves or the institute the opportunity to practice the skills. You need to also start by even marketing yourself that you can do it. There are open doors of practice opportunities for the ICMC members to have mediation experience, all right, to be able to mediate disputes from or relating to contractual, marital, civil, or legal other relationships. So, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and your excellencies in the house, one of the ways of marketing mediation skill is also to write articles. What I think, if I can remember this guy, Pika, called a pop article on online, electronic and print media platforms. How many of us write articles? How many of you are on LinkedIn where people can read you? You don't know that's marketing? The articles should be original to you, short, catchy, and without footnotes. And the recommendation, I think, that Pika used at a point in time was that it should not be more than 1,500 words or so. And some of the channels that you could use are mediate.com, Ezine articles, and Scoop, all right? And so on and so forth. However, each media has its rules and guidelines. So you can do marketing through publishing of articles. You can register your presence online as a marketing strategy. I've just mentioned LinkedIn. People today are on what's it called? Instagram. They're on Twitter. What are they doing? Just showcasing personal pictures. You can showcase what you can do as a mediator. While others may register their presence online, like in Facebook, for publishing birthdays and other social non-investment milestones, you could do more by expressing your views on mediation on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, and use the platform for reaching out to outlets needing mediation service. You never can tell. Somebody reaches out to you through that your marketing strategy. Another way of marketing mediation and yourself is to join your local chapter, another mediators platform. And one of the quickest ways of becoming known in your state is active participation in branch activities. How many of us are really active members of our branches? Usually, branches have WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram platforms where opportunities for mediation practice could be published. But even then, yours is we are talking about marketing. You could start to market mediation with short clips in those platforms. You can also reach those platforms to organize mediation-based meetings and attract participants to your products. For instance, on October 22nd, 2022, a free Zoom meeting was held on trauma healing. In that meeting, there were more than 40 or so participants from different parts of the country. Such a forum could give the organizers more visibility and recognition. From the questions and experiences that was shared, participants will likely contact the organizers. What about stakeholder management? I am sure that in every state, every local government, every community, corporate organizations, there are internal and external customer interfaces. For example, I'm sure we know that there are customer relations or community relations interface with community liaison officers in every oil and gas company. They all have disputes on project management and inadequate compensation mechanism, which are often, which will lead to blocking access roads. As a mediator, you might decide, therefore, to be writing proposals as a marketing strategy. I mentioned market association. I also market tricycle associations. I mentioned the Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers. All these are places where we can market, even as sales. What about marketing on radio? How many of us have had that? How many of us have ventured into it? The money to use on radio is not as big as what people think. A good radio station that knows that you are going to add value to their something will give you access. I remember that in our humble beginning, Human Rights Radio in Abuja, by ordinary president Ahmed Issa, used to combine audience therapy, direct and indirectly facilitated negotiation. Do you know that he came to the FICMC to read, learn, and upgrade his skill as a mediator? Most of us don't seem to know that you may not agree with some of the things, but what he is doing is to resolve conflicts. All right? So, however, mediation is private. So, marketing and therefore mediation marketing consultants must take great care to ensure that they do not undermine the rule of confidentiality, especially in mediation practice. What about networking? Let me ask us, or no, let me just say, we know that we have a very close tie with the Nigerian Bar Association, and they've always been a reliable ally in marketing mediation to members. How many of us have been able to seize that opportunity to even use our interpersonal relationships to do that? Using the MBA platform, for instance, for disseminating training schedules for its members has proven to be very, 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 very apt. All right. So since I did not prepare any note, I wasn't the one that was supposed to take us, and I just wanted us to have, instead of just sitting down and not listening to anything. I think we have spent almost 1 hour now. Let me just start to give my closing thoughts, and maybe ask. Remember that when we are going to ask questions, now all of us go answer them because not be maybe the facilitator. All right. So one of the challenges with us most of the time is having a feeling of possible failure in the marketing endeavor because we do not see ourselves as good communicators. Let us not be afraid to step out to offer ourselves for service in the field of mediation. Until we are tried, tested, and challenged, we may never discover our potentials and might not even know how good we are. Mediation thrives on resilience and innovative approaches like any other profession. Mediation allows mediators to act like an explorer who explores the fabric of society, looking out for troubled areas and seeking to help make peace among disputants without wearing the toga of a judge. Help to seek common ground among disputants and in the process build consensus. The mediator is a catalyst and a peace engineer. I'm sure we all know this. That's who you are. You design, you innovate, you implement dispute processes neutrally and impartially without getting drawn into the disputes. In which area we find ourselves, be it marketing, be it in sales, let us then know that the sanctity of the cornerstones of mediation, which are confidentiality, respect for the parties and the process, the parties own the process, and you are just a process manager. In managing the process, you should endeavor to display empathy in all your dealings. So in your marketing rounds, please ensure that you do not breach any ICMC's code of conduct. All right? And above all, you should project integrity and truth in advance, because when you are going on marketing, people are going to ask you questions. If you have not resolved a case through mediation, don't go and tell people the untruth that you've been, since I was in my mother's womb, I've been mediating. And as of today, I can tell you that there is no case I cannot mediate on. Don't do things that will put you on the spotlight. All right? Because if the parties now find out later, or people in society find out who you are, is not what they are finding, you would destroy the very foundation of trust. So, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and the facilitator in the house who graciously thought we can all talk as members of a family to ourselves while we wait for others, our facilitator, I think I have tried my best to see what we can do to talk about marketing and how we can go through it, because I took you through the stages and differentiated between sales and marketing. I hope we can now have a conversation as a team and as a group, and do hope that before we finish, our own AAA Ambassador Ojaide will join us. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you all.
Your Excellency, thank you so much. That was great. That's from our past president, Dr. Brown, Louis Obeifun. Indeed, you are the godfather. You are the godfather. Ambassador Victor Ojaide will also be joining us shortly. I have his slide with me. But right before he joins, I know a lot of people are already having their hand raised because of questions. So if you have a question, please, okay, you can drop it in the chat box or raise your hand. And before then, we have Dr. Benga Barada said he wants to make a remark. Doctor, please, can you unmute your mic? I'm sending you a prompt to unmute. Please unmute your mic.
Dr. Barada should also teach us, so instead of adding to my woe, because I'm not, I'm just a...
Please unmute your mic, sir.
Me. Okay, you are not allowing me. Thank you, you have allowed me now. Good afternoon, colleagues in the house. And I think I have to drop my cap for Dr. Obeifun. This may be the last time I will use the name of Dr. Obeifun. I think you qualify to be a professor. Well, I quite agree with you. My name is Dr. Olubenga Barada. I'm the CEO of a Dispute Resolution Academy, a service provider to ICMC. What does that mean? I market ADR for ICMC and also for Dispute Resolution Academy. One of the questions we've been getting from people when we train them is that, how do I get a living from mediation? And I'm one of the people that can actually tell you that you can actually get a living from mediation if you have a good marketing skill. Why I align myself with what Professor Brown Obeifun I just taught us today, I want to chip in two things. ICMC gives you a broad platform, general platform, when ICMC trains you in as a mediator. But your own responsibility is to upgrade yourself to be a specialist. We have so many areas now where you can apply mediation, unlike when we started almost about 20 years ago. Now we have maritime, we have production, we have estate management, we have surveying, we have construction, so many where we can delve into and make a livelihood. But the point we need to know is that many people know about, have heard about mediation, but they don't know about mediation. So the first thing you have to do as a professional is to be able to explain it to them and buy them into it. They've just been hearing mediation, what is it all about? 80% of the populace, if I may be modest, don't actually know what it's all about. And that means if you are able to explain it to people, you are going to get more market for yourself. That is what I've done as a person, explaining mediation to people, and at the end of this, wow, so it can work. Yes, it can work. and this is how we can go about it. Then we'll start from the days of little beginning. It may not be a high amount of money, but the moment you are known, then your fee will be going up progressively. And in that sense, like I said, when ICMC has given you a broad platform to be a mediator, then strive to be a professional. Which area are you going into? Are you going to family mediation? Are you going to land chieftaincy? Are you going into business? The commercial aspects, there are so many. And what you have to bear in mind is that your clients, they are in different categories. We have those in the corporate level. We have those in the community level. We have on personal level. Those on personal level, if you are able to assess them, they will bring their private dispute to you. Like Dr. Brown said, at the corporate level, there are so many. If you have the confidence, what is confidence? It's knowledge. If you have the knowledge and the confidence, you can actually get across to any of these corporate organizations and be a consultant to them. That consultancy will hand you two things, either for training and either for practice. Then on that note, you may be asking yourself, how do you gain experience? Well, for us, most of us gain our experience from a mediation, from a multi-door court houses. But the option of multi-court houses is not actually attractive because it comes with little or nothing. But if you are passionate about mediation, money will not be your first goal. The experience will be your goal. We go to multi-door, we gather experience, and we use the experience we gather from multi-door to make money in the practice. For instance, in the multi-door, you have cases covering all aspects of mediation. If you have gotten 50% of that experience, that will give you confidence to be able to go into the market. When you get to the market, what people want to know is that, what experience are you bringing in? Because without experience, they will not have confidence in actually engaging you. So that experience matters. And like Dr. Brown said, if you can't go to multi-door courts, you may meet some of the mediators who can take you in as a co-mediator. But the challenge we are going to have there is that mediation is private. And except the parties allow you to bring in other person, you may not be able. So that is where we may have an issue. But in most cases, some parties may not even mind. And if such happens, that means you have the leverage of bringing in a mediator who can understudy you and grow under you with experience. So if, in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that profile your clients, profile them, either community, personal, corporate, then you'll be able to know where to go into. Please go to where you have passion, where you have strength. Don't go into family mediation because there are many cases or because you like it when you don't have passion for it. Go into an area where you have passion for. When you shine in that area, then you are successful. But it doesn't make sense to go into an area of mediation where you are struggling, because that may mar even your progress and your achievement in this particular industry. So these are the things I think I will just add to what Professor Brown has said. And I hope that there are many people here who are more knowledgeable than me who will be able to chip in one or two things. But before I leave, I want to say that if you want to be a successful mediator, then your character must speak for you. Your image must speak for you. Do you have the image of a mediator? If not, it will go at variance with what you want to market. You cannot go and be marketing mediation when you are a troublemaker. You cannot be marketing mediation when you don't have a record that will support that kind of leverage in your own life. So you start with yourself. Who are you? What mediation does for us is that you are the first subject in mediation. It reforms you before you are able to reform the society. So if you get that, I can say that you will be a good marketer of the profession that is called mediation. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for this opportunity just to ship this in to to advance knowledge this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Benga Barada, for that wonderful remark. I think today we'll be learning from several professionals and to help us gain more understanding. And we apologize for the break in transmission with our speaker, Ambassador Victor Ojaide, and I'm glad he's back with us. Ambassador, you're welcome, sir. Please unmute your mic, sir. Please unmute your mic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Joshua, are you there?
Yes, I am, sir.
Take pictures. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Joshua, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, sir.
I'm not too sure if anybody can hear me. Joshua, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Can you hear me, Joshua?
Yes, your bandwidth is a bit low. I don't know. It's the network, but I can hear you very well.
Okay. I'm not too sure if everybody can hear me, so we could. This has happened. Joshua, I guess you have my slide. Please just confirm if everybody can hear me. So maybe I could just take some few minutes to do something with us before we end today. Can you confirm everybody can hear me, please?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So, distinguished ladies, gentlemen, my heart reaches out to all of us. I'm sad that the network gave us this challenge. I am glad I heard some few things that Dr. Wilson had done. So let me just go ahead and do some few things I'd like to share with us in my slide today. Joshua, can you go with the next slide, please? Joshua, please go on. Go on, please, Joshua. Fantastic. Joshua, go back to the first slide we have. Go back to the first. Let me talk about the gravitas a minute. Go back to slide 1, Joshua. Joshua, are you there?
Yes, I'm on slide 1 now, the gravitas.
I'm not too sure you can hear me. Are you there, Joshua? Please go back to slide 1. Joshua, if you're there, go back to slide 1. Are you there, Joshua? Can you hear me? Fantastic. Distinguished ladies, gentlemen, let me take some few minutes as we get to the end of this. No, Joshua, go back to where we have the gravitas. The gravitas. The slide after this. The gravitas, Joshua. The next one. The next one. The next slide, Joshua. Joshua, are you there?
Yes.
Joshua, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you, sir. I'm on the gravitas, dignity, seriousness, and solemnity. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Sir, can you hear me? Seems your network is breaking.
Joshua, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I am on the gravitas.
Can anybody hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, no.
Sir, can you hear me?
Okay. 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 Thank you. In these few minutes, I don't know if you can hear me. Joshua, can you hear me? Joshua,
Yes,
can you
I can
hear
hear
me?
you clearly. I can hear you clearly. Please proceed, sir.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Nobody can hear me. Anybody hear me, please? Can you hear me?
I hear you, sir. Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Okay. It looks like you can hear me, but I can't seem to hear anybody. Joshua, are you there? Can you hear me, Joshua?
They are
So I can
muted.
go on.
Yes. They are responding in the chat box. We can all hear you clearly.
I'm not too sure. Okay, can you all hear me, please? Okay, that's good. Okay, let me take that you can hear me. Okay, Benga, thank you for sharing that. Let me quickly do as much as I can within just this short few minutes. I want to thank Dr. Boyfun. I had some of his thought before I finally went out to this. Let me focus on basically what the essence, one of the concerns I see mediators have in Nigeria and in different parts of Africa is the fact that we do not have opportunity to practice or the privilege to practice and actually make mediation full-time living where we earn income and practice just like we do other professions. This is one large-scale concern that members of the Institute, mediators in Nigeria and Africa have. I listened as Dr. Boyfun shared, I heard that part before I fell out, his experience and what he does. So let me share today, what are some of the things that will give you an opportunity to do well in having to make mediation become real work, our profession, practicing and earning income. I shared this when I started. For me, I say this. I cannot think of any finer job on earth. I say that being a mediator is like being paid well to go to heaven because of the impact, the essence, the value we bring into people's lives and also directly into our lives. Let me share with us one of the ways that put us in preeminence where we can begin to market. Marketing is not just selling things, it's adding value to people's lives, your brand, and who you are. One of it I describe as the gravitas. What will the gravitas, if you look at the definition of gravitas, it talks about solemnity,
importance, dignity, seriousness. It talks about, that's what the word that gravitas brings. It means that you and I must put ourselves and create ourselves in a position that we can attract to ourselves by who we are. We say mediation are life skills. And in describing gravitas, that means as a mediator, what do I become that when I sit, I have the privilege to sit in a session that will make people gravitate towards me. I say, look, there's something about this person that makes him unique. This is one marketing. You must then be a gravitas. In describing a gravitas, what is one thing? I talk about a key indicator. Because mediation and life skills, when people tell me they cannot practice, they don't have opportunity, please forgive me. That cannot be real. Why do I say it's not real? There are two essence or two aspects of practice. One is when you professionally practice, like you go to work. The other is when you practice is not going to work, is who you every day become. Because we said mediation and life skills, I say this to persons, mediation is different from like if I were a doctor or an engineer or a pilot. When I'm in the aircraft, I pull the airplane. Once I'm not there, I become who I am. But mediation skills become who we are, the way we speak, the way we respond. And so I say this, if I were to be a great mediator to attract people, do I use great communication skills? I share one. If I have not learned the habit of sincerely and genuinely appreciating and thanking people for the smallest thing they do, it becomes difficult for me to practice or live the tenets of mediation that will attract me to have opportunities. If I cannot, I repeat, if I cannot appreciate people for the smallest things they do, when I say smallest things in my environment, in my home, if I do not reflect effective communication in how I listen to others, how I speak with others, please note, what you do not live as you in mediation practice, you cannot give to others. I talk about reactive response. That is one of the attributes that attracts people to who a mediator is. If I'm under fire, in the profile, so when somebody's put under fire, if things don't work well for me, if people don't like me, if people react to my thoughts differently, what's my reaction? Do I get angry? Or do I have this great strength of emotional intelligence? I can listen to others, even when they do not agree with me, even when they say things that does not promote who I am, even when they say things that cast aspersion. What's my kind of response? These are life skills. Am I positive with others around me? Do I stand for consensus and peace? If you were in a setting, if I were a doctor and I was trained in mediation, and I have a passion for mediation, and a medical doctor, if I stay in my office and there's a concern, what will be my attitude? Am I positive? Say, look, guys, can we look at things a little bit differently? Do I stand to say, look, together, can we build a consensus? Can we create a path of peace, even when others create the embers of war? These are things I speak from practical experience that attract. They may not know who you are, but there's this thing about you. When there are critical issues of disputes in your local settings, do you take, even when you know, do you take the role of a neutral? Let me share how key neutral is in practice. It means I know the truth. I know that one side is wrong, absolutely, no question. But because I know, I want to inspire them to create a settlement. I know who's right. I don't side what is wrong. I know, but because I want to inspire consensus and peace, I play the role of a neutral. Please note this, in practice we say, the minute people sense or perceive that we have gleaned, the path to help resolve is lost. In the world stage today, many countries and world leaders are unable to influence Putin. In the war between Ukraine and Russia, he is not listening to many persons because he feels people have taken sides against his country. People feel that way a lot of time. Whatever the dynamics. But the man who probably, you see, when we have war conflict, they say, look, can this country talk to this? Why can't Qatar and Jordan play key roles in mediating war conflicts today? It's because it's not that they don't know who's right or who's wrong. They do. But once they chose the essence to inspire others to come together. And so that's one attribute. As I listen to some of the best leaders in the world of corporations who have strength and have made a lot of success in both corporate and personal life, one of the things I see they talk about when they want to get people with all competence, they say and feel integrity is major key. So think about it. These are gravitas that prepares you to market mediation skills. Can I repeat this? They attract, they inspire, they make people want to understand the nature of who you are. So I recommend as a mediator, this is great. How many of us seated in this room truly desire to be a mediator and have a registered corporate firm? I tell this to many persons I've mentored. Once they go through training and they learn a lot of things, I want to see in the CAC of Nigeria and in different parts of Africa, professionals register mediation firms. Tonight, I do not speak with trainers to trainers. Great. I want to talk to those who desire to practice and earn great earning. I heard one of the parts Wefun spoke, and the great Dr. Wefun said in America, not just in America, I'm saying in Nigeria, people, not 6 digits, 7 digits. That's where we got to go. Possible? Absolutely. So you need to register a mediation firm. For those who start, as you register a mediation firm, what are some of the things in networking that probably will help? They talk about some of us may not need it anymore. And I'll share why. Well, a lot of us still need it. We need to have a strong online presence. Are you connected with the LinkedIn where you can have your profile? As you create your firm, do you have a professional website? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Are you involved? Do you have all the necessary? You need to create a strong social media presence about who you are. And then one key I recommend, people must join professional organizations. Some of us belong to almost 6, 7 different parts of the world, not just in Nigeria, not just in Africa, different professional organizations. We want to be active. You've got to be active. You've got to show skills. In other words, when the opportunity to show skills and competence, you and I need to volunteer. Join professional organizations where you can be. So I was speaking recently to a government official who few years ago, 2 years ago, was an SSG and holds a top position in government. And he told me about this partial privilege. Just a few days ago, I was pushing, please, I've told you to give me some of these opportunities with these multinationals. And I looked at it. Interestingly, he's a member of ICMC. And he said, how come I've not had some of these opportunities he saw because of he had the privilege to understand an engagement I was given recently. And I said to him, you cannot sit at the fence and expect to get opportunities. It doesn't happen that way. You cannot have opportunities where you sell yourself sitting at the fence. So encourage, please note, there's a time to plant, a time to sow, and a time to reap. Where you and I need to market where we add values, not only to others, to our lives, where we can independently, boldly, and nobly live on mediation. We must see that as much as we can, great professional organizations and anywhere that's right, that add values to give us where we can keep latest trend, we should join. Premium your expertise. When I say premium your expertise, some of us have chosen. I see Dr. Boyfun has great passion for oil and gas. He's done great learning, gone deeper. That's what I love. Several mediation is so huge that some of us may want to have passion in family mediation, in communal conflicts. We need to show that. As I speak to us today, how many of us, when I go to trainings, I go to places, I see mediators, when they give out their cards, who are attorneys, I see their cards, read their firm as attorneys. Very few mediators have I known who carry cards bearing mediation organizations and their card reading the same. So I said to myself, how can I walk into an organization and I do not have an impressive, great business card that talks about my competence as a mediator? Premium it. If you live in an area and there are concerns in your community, I will expect mediators to show their competence in helping to see that as you do that, people wonder. In my community, one time we needed to do negotiations for something. And I guess because of my competence in that area, I joined and led the process. And I see many years ago, as people, oh, we like the way you negotiated that deal on our behalf. I guess it tells people, how does he do that? You cannot be a mediator and not create a presence where you live, your immediate environment. If people cannot feel the essence of who you are, then it will be difficult to have opportunity to practice. We'll probably want people to pay you 50 million naira for a matter. Our families, I will expect, if my name were Tony and I live in a family and there are crises, I won't expect people to say, look, we need to call Tony because he has this competence, premium, wherever you are, premium your competence so people know. Truly, this is what he is. He knows how to do it. Once that happens, you discover that formally, informally first, then formally, people begin to refer to you. A time will come, you do not need any more in your practice any social media presence because you've established by premium what your competence is. This year alone, I said, I just love to share a little bit of experience. This year alone, if I have not written proposals, not for nothing with any training, proposals for interventions to corporations, I discover have issues and different governments at different levels. If I have not, without exaggerating, I'm sure probably I have had up about 41. I can tell you, I have not had This is July. I have not had 20% response from those. But one of the response alone is enough earning for me for 5 years. One. So I say this. Mediators must sit, look, can you imagine the magnitude of problems we have in government, in societies, in communities, in companies, in organizations? Search for them, look for problems, design patterns, what you can do and recommend, design proposals that have essence and meaning, defend them. Well, please note, except you and I go through those areas of competence, as I joined in my expression today, it might be difficult to do this. So it's important. Put together webinars and seminars privately where you can express and talk about your competence. We must develop and pursue professional certifications and trainings. I talked about that before. Create a neat, today, I want to share with us that, and I say this, what we live by today as the doctrine of mediation in any field were created by humans who are great, but not greater than those in this room. You and I must begin to set precedents. We must interrogate the books. All the things written about mediation do not apply in every setting. No, it's not true. It's not true. We must begin to create patterns and design solutions. And people say, look, let me share one with you. I once had an experience presiding over a matter where a prolific professor in Nigeria was in the morgue for over 6 years. And his family were denied of all the privileges and wealth he had. They were serious, and he was a royal prince. And the insinuation was that he killed his wife. Let me share this as I close this room today because of time. In presiding in that matter, I discovered they sent representative from the palace, chiefs who came and told me why the woman should never have assets. They told me the reason why they thought she had killed him. And yet, in faraway South Africa, I learned he died of kidney issues. So I couldn't imagine. They said she was having an affair, and that's how he died. By their tradition, and that's what killed him. I made a trip to meet with His Royal Highness, even though they were sending a representative to sit in that, to talk with him. Finally, let me cut this short. We brokered a deal on an ice, destroyed the ice. They decided that the properties were now going to be released to the woman. They decided that the body should not be released. After 6 years, it will be buried. And then they told me she would not be permitted to attend the funeral. And I thought that was no problem. But the woman called me and said to me, if I agree, and if she did, it means I may not understand the tradition, that she truly killed him. Then I discovered truly that's what it meant. So we had to work on that. It took us a few weeks. We finally came to a consensus that she can. I wish I could describe the processes that led to that final. There were a lot of cultural elements in that mediation. But let me share this finally. That matter was a matter in court for 9 years. But can I say this? The process required that a settlement agreement, that's what the process will say, a settlement, because it was a court-referred matter. But let me tell you what I did. It is not written anywhere in the books of mediation. I've not read it. But I understand what cultural effect. In other words, there are cases peculiar to areas in Africa, different parts of Africa, even in different places in Nigeria, that not one size fits it all. In this room I share with us today, we did not write a settlement agreement. On this matter, I'll tell you what we did. A settlement agreement, because all the things that became a result, all were things in favor of the woman for which she had her rights deprived for 9 years, all of them. It therefore showed a settlement agreement written. The chiefs were so written will show that the woman triumphed. In fact, some of them were not happy with the grace that His Royal Highness gave me in resolving that. They felt the concession was so much against their tradition. But this is what I said to them. I said to His Majesty, His Highness, the traditions of man are beautiful. Traditions were made by forebearers who did not have the kind of knowledge and exposure we have today. If men made traditions, men can change it. He listened and said, if men did, men can. The only things we may not be able to change if they are things made by the gods. Then let us allow the gods take care of the problem created by the gods, or a problem created by man or tradition, man can. He believed it, that in the resolve of things need to revolve. But yet it had not become a status in their land. It therefore means if we had a settlement agreement, do confidential that will go out, people begin to wonder. Let me tell you what was prescribed. No settlement agreement made, but matter resolved. The woman went back to court, put in an application, withdraw the case out of court. I'm just trying to tell us to understand the doctrine of cultural elements in mediation that sometimes specifically the books do not teach. So I share this. Mediators must set precedents of practice that are great. Propel that we must begin to write books to describe our narratives, our stories, and how we can have peculiarities in resolving the problems in Africa and in Nigeria. We need such leaders. That's how you and I can market who we are. We must create precedents, come out with it, pronounce it, defend it, put the right pegs in the right hole. People then know, and that's what leaders do. Leaders create, they share knowledge, they engage, and they inspire others. A skilled mediators must develop and create precedents for others to follow. We must challenge loopholes and be different in a positive manner. There are some things I'll give you. There are many things in the books. Let me just show one small. I'm sure many of us may use this. I hear mediators say, your role is just to facilitate communication. When I hear that, I'm very patient in listening. And I said, mine, your role is just to facilitate communication. There's nothing wrong with that. But can I share with you, in my world, that cannot be real. The role of the mediator is not just. People cannot be in court for 19 years. And the man that presides and helps them says just. If it is just, they didn't need to be in court for even one day. It's not just. The role of the mediator is not a just. It is vital and critical. In world conflict today, we are looking for mediators. Mediators are helping to resolve the crisis in Gaza, and Israel, their role is not just, their role is major. Mediators must begin to know that. And that role empowers them to inspire others to make decisions that are great. Please forgive, let me end by saying this. You know, imagine the vision of two great, I'm not saying in training, I'm saying in practice. Imagine two, let me quickly use what I'm going to talk about, collaboration and partnership. I encourage mediators, if you have two great mediators, rather than each person do his own thing, please come together in official business partnership in the business of mediation. Encourage it. Be2, be3, come together. Create an alliance. Your ideas will be fantastic. One of the things I like about two men I've come to know, somehow I've looked at, they have a law firm, but I'm using them because I don't know if they do this. I don't know what their partnership is, but I just picture, I say, look, because sometimes they do mediation things, that means if they have a mediation matter, one can say, look, I have this matter. How do we go about it? How do we get to this cooperation? So I say this to mediators. If you're in this room and you find it tough, please look for a great partner where you can come together and say, can we register a business name? Can we begin to design and see how we can go about the mediation business to market? Remember, market means to add value to people, organizations, and to bring great revenue to your name. Partnership and collaboration is fantastic. It is better to be a small fish in a huge pond with the room of expansion than want to be a big fish in a kettle. Partnership. Imagine you have three great persons like Ogwefun has a friend, another who are great mediators like him. They come together, they have an office, and they put their thoughts. Those men will be beautiful. So seek for partnership. Distinguished ladies, gentlemen, let me say this. I cannot think of any greater job on earth than the job of being a mediator. I say this, it's like being paid to go to heaven, because what you do is to add value with so much money in your pocket. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Ambassador Victor A.A.A. Ojaide, thank you for that impactful and engaging presentation. We truly appreciate your insights that you've shared. So quickly, we'll take questions. If you have a question, you can make use of the raise hand button, or you drop your question in the chat box. If you have a question, you can, let's quickly take questions. We apologize for taking this long. Usually this session is between an hour or 90 minutes. So if there's any question, there are a lot of comments in the chat box, both on Zoom and on our YouTube channel. So a question from our YouTube channel says, can one be a mediator and also an arbitrator too? That's coming from Evelyn Kaderi. You're muted, sir. Please unmute your mic, sir. Please unmute.
Okay. Thank you, Joshua. He asked, can one be a mediator and arbitrator together? I guess we all know that question. Yes, you can. Let me share quickly the design of the FICMC ADR platform, what it does with having a closure in a matter. Just recently, we had a matter. It is designed in such a way that when you go through from one end to the other, mediation, if probably there is now in building that strong tie, if it has to go so that you can get a closure, if you have 10 issues and 8 of them are resolved, the others are put together, packaged nicely by consensus. There's a way we do it by consensus, and it can be sent to arbitration that puts a cap, a seal on the other matters. We're saying this type that ensures that parties get a closure and they agree, as we design such agreement, that look, whatever the arbitrator says, parties chose of their own volition that to be final. It's beautiful. So you can be a mediation arbitrator. On the same matter, we discourage that the mediator be the arbitrator. Probably if they finish with mediation, they have to go into arbitration. And we all know the reason why. The reason is clear. Some people feel, no, it's a great idea, but I discourage that because mediation, you can confess in mediation. So parties will have divulged a lot of things. The mediator knows that because arbitration is private litigation, that ordinarily they will not say in arbitration. So that would be my thought in regards to that. You can be, of course, you can be a mediator and an arbitrator together. You can. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we take another question from the chat box, Tunde, please can you proceed?
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Tunde Kamali. I belong to the Abuja branch of the FICMC. First, I'd like to thank you, sir, for the very inspiring presentation. It actually inspired, I'm sure, the zeal of a lot of my colleagues on how to move forward and ensure that we can actually make a fulfilling career from mediation. However, sir, as much as there's a lot that we can do as individuals, as professionals, to put mediation in the minds and hearts of people so that instead of running to the court and being there for 30, 40 years, they know that there's a better way, a better alternative from where they can continue to even be friends and family afterwards. Is there no initiative that as a body, as a professional body, that the FICMC itself can do so that from a national perspective, we are able to market, to do public enlightenment for the generality of the people? And then it becomes more like a force to reckon with. Because they said to get together, divided we fall, together united we stand, and we stand strongly. Is there nothing FICMC can do, sir, to help the profession and help the professionals? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Wow. I really must thank you for this remarkable and great question. Let me share with you, I think I can say this authoritatively. Let me share with you the thought. Few days ago, this seemed coincidental. A few days ago, the president and I, the president of FICMC, Godwin Omwaka SAN, had a few charts, and it had to do again with the FICMC ODR platform. FICMC must play the role. You're correct. FICMC must play a role, a leading role, to champion the proclamation of mediation practice and opportunities in Nigeria, especially for its members. FICMC must begin to design pattern. And what FICMC, a vision FICMC is getting into, is not just to be a certified regulatory training institute in Nigeria, but to now begin to engage government, multinationals in interventions that uses its members. So, because ICMC is made up of people. So if ICMC design patterns for interventions for countries, corporations, the people they send to administer and create those patterns and designs, intervention in communities where you have some of the worst crises are its members. What do you do? What does that tell? It enshrines the practice of mediation. So people now know when those matters are dealt with, they know that this is the way to go. So I agree with you. And that's what we're propagating, that ICMC must begin. So the Nigerian state says, we have these communities that have these communal crises. ICMC is doing the interventions. And ICMC design a pattern. I can send 50 mediators because for transformative mediation, it's not a 1 day, it's not even a 6 month. It's a continuous thing in maintaining peace. Imagine ICMC has 6 major interventions in states, and then think about what that will be. It will be enormous. This got to be our vision. So as leaders in ICMC, this is what we want to begin to design patterns and interventions and engage government to say, look, you cannot have professionals in vain. If they do this privately, we must now step up and do it. I think I agree with you. So that's what we need to be. Once that happens, we will have changed the tide of conflict resolution on the continent of Africa. You're correct, my brother. I thank you for making me speak about this, because that's what we've got to do. And that's what we're going to do. Thank you again for mentioning this. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. So before I bring up Mr. Benjue, there is a question in the chat box. Can an activist be a mediator?
Okay. I don't know. There's somebody who should laugh about this. I would have loved him to speak because he has been speaking since. So let me share with you. Some years ago, I'm sure he's going to say this man wants to start again. Some years ago, I was going to make a presentation for labor leaders in Benin. So while we're going to start, somebody walked into the room because maybe because of my kind of work or nature, I love the serene, the solemn, quiet kind of, and then this man, very unassuming, and that was the first time I got to know that, no, this man is not just what I think. When you walked into the room, I saw all these labor leaders stood up and they started with their song. I thought the wall of the hall was going to fall. Who was the person? No other person than Dr. Louis Brown Ogwefun was the one that walked in, and all of them rose, and I thought they were going to pull down the wall. You know, I've heard people say that activists cannot. You know, their blood is very, like they can't be great mediators. But it's a challenge. But I can tell you of one as an answer. Ogwefun is a wonderful man. And when he walked in, he stood and was looking at them, and these men were singing. I thought there was war. And I was wondering, is it the same Ogwefun who doesn't speak? So that these people, so this is the people he was leading. So I thought this man was leading this kind of army. Then I knew that, no, this man, that means something must have happened in his orientation. I'll share with you another. I don't know whether it's in this room. So I'm just trying to tell you, look, all of us have our temperament. We can alter it. We can all become refined and great. That's why I say this. In this life, none of us were born with anything. None. None. We grew to develop, acquire. We can also learn and acquire new things. So I say this, anything great on earth is possible. It might be a challenge for an activist, but an activist can be, because he can alter that. He can learn great communication skills to understand, listen, and be able to interact with people warmly. So that would be my thought and answer to that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Gladly, we still have Dr. Louis Ogwefun still with us as our godfather, the godfather of ICMC. So finally, let me take Mr. Benjamin Jue. Please proceed, sir.
Good day, everybody. Can you hear me?
Ben, I think I can hear you a bit.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed, sir.
Are you there? Good day, everybody. I want to share Brown who started this, and my good friend and brother, Ambassador Victor A.A.A. Ojaide. Nothing can be better than what I have heard this afternoon from these two gentlemen. Really, marketing ADR is not anything different from marketing any other thing, either tangible or intangible products. It's like every other profession. I think it's the issue of anxiety that a lot of us who are newcomers into the profession, because of the high expectations and because of actually what mediation is going to offer or what is already offering, as Ambassador Ojaide just said, we tend to be a little less patient with the thing. We require some patience. We also require to be resilient and persevere, very persevering. America didn't just get it immediately from the day one. I've done research of mediation in India, Europe, America. It took some time. Today, mediation is selling in India and some of these places like hotcake, but they had their own time. It took time to grow. What we need to do is the advocacy that this gentleman has been speaking about. But I think that there is a great ray of hope. I've been in this business for as long as, even longer, earlier than when FICMC came on board. But I got certified as one of the very first set of mediators. One thing I can say that we need to do both institutional and individual advocacy, as Jane and I have said. We need to sell it. We need to tell all our networks, from our family to our communities to our everything. Let me share a few things. When I got certified and inducted in 2002 as the first set of mediators then by FICMC, I was in Kano. I was just imagining, how do I sell my skill? Nobody knows much about 2002. When I returned, we did adoption. Then there were, during the harvest sessions of almost all the churches in Kano, I had to spend money buying spaces to advertise my skills and my business. As he talked about, we must have a corporate entity with which you can sell it. I looked up for friends and everybody who were doing some social or religious things, which you can do today. They are everywhere. I took spaces in brochures and either congratulatory messages or adverts and the rest of them. I think this is what we have to do. Let nobody fold his hand or her hand and think that FICMC alone marketing. In your own niche, wherever you are, what is actually throwing it down is because the people already have not known so much of it, like every other profession. So we have to go out there and do some real marketing. Sell it in your own side, in your own niche, everywhere you are. I predict, this is my own personal opinion, in the next 5 years, we'll be talking about these things now, because lots of people would have known that it's easier to settle out of court in this thing, and it makes one of the challenges actually from practical experience over the years too, is that there had not been an institutional backing or a legal status for mediation, actually. But that's why we should be excited about the arbitration. It's going to change the landscape. It's going to change everything, because all this while people will ask you, how do I enforce it? How am I going to get it? Enforcement was a problem. People are hearing, but their fears and concerns had always been, is voluntary, is this and that, you can check out if you want. Now, if we do the settlement agreement and they refuse to, the other person refuses to abide by it or enforce it, what happens? But that is changing with the Arbitration and Mediation Act. I'd like us to be more patient and let our hands be on deck. Don't wait. Imagine that some other people will do it in your own area. In the next 5 years, the game will change seriously. And again, I'm excited about what Ambassador Ojaide said. In this time of waiting, what are you doing to your own skills? What are you upping your skills? Are you reskilling? Are you actually growing? Don't sit down there. Mediation is a very, very, I call it a risk management process. So your hands must be on deck. So as you advocate and sell mediation, please make sure you develop yourself. That's all I have for you. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, the great Mr. Ben Dewey, for your contribution. That was great. Before we wrap up, once again we apologize for taking long of your time. This webinar awards all members of the Institute 2 CPD units as a certificate of participation. And to get that, you will need to pay a token of just 5,000 Naira using the link on your screen, www.paystack.com/pay/webicmc. And if you need the link, you can also send a message to support@icmc.ng to make payment in case you're having difficulty to make payments. www.paystack.com/pay/webicmc, so you can get the certificate of participation. Distinguished participants, it's my pleasure to introduce or to announce to us our forthcoming 2025 Africa's largest ADR conference, the ICMC Annual Conference and Induction Ceremony, scheduled for 28th of November 2025. As we speak, the early bird registration is ongoing, and associate member category is to register with 20,000, member is 25, fellow is 40, non-member is 40, virtual is 15. And if you'll be joining as an international delegate, you have to pay just $65. So to register, kindly visit www.icmcconference.org. The early bird registration will close 30th of September 2025. So this is to encourage all members of the Institute to quickly register for the forthcoming Africa's largest ADR conference. And our theme for this year is behavioral patterns and societal disintegration, mediation as an option for social cohesion. Without further ado, I would like to say a very big thank you to all our distinguished facilitators, our participants, and also to the Godfather for coming in when network almost messed us up. Dr. Brown, Louis Obevan, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Dr. Gbenga Barada. Thank you, Mr. Ben Dewey, and to our guest speaker, Ambassador Victor A.A.A. Ojaide. I want to say a very big thank you to you all. See you at the next edition in August. Thank you. Have a good evening. See you next month.